Yeah, I want to talk a bit more about what Charlie just said about Matvei Michkov before we get to the super chats. That is very disheartening to think. And I know this was always, I went in thinking like, oh yeah, they're going to win tonight because why wouldn't they? But I didn't actually think that was a real possibility with Fedotov in net.
Right.
Like Tampa, they've been struggling a little. They came in losing 3 in a row, but they're 4-1 at home. Even without Braden Point, they have enough star power that I was like, oh, they're going to get like 6 shots off that Fedotov just has no chance on. But that didn't turn out to be the case, and now we're facing the fact of coach don't like changing up. I mean, no coaches really do like changing up the lineups after a win. You've been preaching something to the team. They go out and execute it. And then you're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Guys are still going to come out of the lineup. Like, they don't like doing that. It sends the wrong message.
Right.
That said, like, you did have a guy play only 5 minutes tonight. You could get Michkov back in there. But this is what I'm hoping is because Tortorella apparently told the media but did not tell Michkov. Like, oh, yeah, he's up there, and I want him to watch the whole game. Like, they commented during the broadcast, like, he sees, you know, the replays of his shifts on the iPad or in film study. But we want him to watch the whole flow of the game, and Torts is going to quiz him, like, just to make sure he paid attention to all, 65 minutes of the action. My hope is that Mish is prepared for this quiz and earns his way back into the lineup by telling Torts what he needs to tell him to kind of get that confidence back and get himself back in. Because, listen, as long as it's not as at home, you're not going to run into a ton of criticism. And I do think you can learn things by watching. I do think that there is value. I know during the broadcast, one of the players on the intermission report was like, nah, you don't learn anything up there.
Is it Ryan Callahan?
Is that who it was? Was it Callahan? I don't remember. I'm mostly tweeting at intermission. But I do think you can learn some things, especially as a 19-year-old who might not have the fullest grasp on them telling you. Like, it's a different language. If someone were to start telling me, like, I understand some things well enough that I'm like, I probably know what they're saying. If they're the point, like, and say words I don't understand, I'm like, I get the gist. But, like, I can't speak Russian. I don't expect him to know English right away either. It's like maybe he's a visual learner and just seeing it in front of him play out for an entire game will help him. That said, a 2-game benching for the dude who's second on the team in scoring, that seems silly.
Dude, do I have to stay back to Philly? Because I'm kind of worried about you on Saturday. If we get the news,
it's just
Michkov
like
scratched for the second straight game.
It's just like, again, he's the main character of the season. And there's a lot of dudes who this season is about. The goalies, for instance, all 3 of them now. Like, I want to see what these guys have and maybe what they can be going forward. We've talked endlessly about Jamie Drysdale and Tyson Forster, Owen Tippett, Morgan Frost, Joel Farabee. All these guys that, jury is still out and we're evaluating. But Michkov is the one that makes everything else matter. Like, it doesn't matter what Joel Farabee turns into. Oh, yeah, he's a nice second-line left winger. Yeah. If we don't have our franchise player, like, whether it's he's mad about this or they're not developing him right, whatever it is, like, I just don't see how sitting him 2 games in a row helps anyone.
I completely agree with you.
Plus, I gotta watch this game. I want to see Matvei.
Yeah, Michkov, that's why a lot of people in Philadelphia are watching the Flyers right now, so they can watch Michkov and see how he does develop there. It is super frustrating to kind of see. That's why I said earlier, like, I'm fine with the benching here tonight. But if we're talking about back-to-back nights where he's getting benched off a healthy scratch, like, what are we doing here? What exactly is it that we're doing?
And John Tortorella will just say it's to help him. This is a teaching tool. A lot of people learn by doing, though, and sometimes you have to play through your mistakes. More than anything, I wonder if just the grind of the season, because they've had a weird schedule, starting out on the West Coast and then everything coming home, like, I'm not here to accept that excuse from Travis Konechny or Owen Tippett. It's like, you've been in the NHL long enough. Get it together. Travis Sanheim. Like, this is not an excuse for you.
Right.
But the 19-year-old Russian immigrant who was playing on what was essentially a minor league team in Sochi. Like the KHL is a few really rich teams that run the league, and then a whole bunch of other teams that are just on the schedule because those rich teams need someone to beat up en route to the playoffs.
So college football.
Yeah, exactly. And like Sochi, he's on loan from SKA to Sochi. He's on one of those fake teams. He's essentially on a minor league team last year, and now he's a 19-year-old rookie. Like, perhaps there are elements that he's like, yeah, he's really never had to play a team game last year because his line mates last year were me and you. You know, like I wouldn't pass to me either. I wouldn't be concerned about defense either. Like, this team is fake. I'm gonna go make highlight plays. Like, I just think there might be something too. Like, he does have a lot of things to learn. He is a 19-year-old rookie, 13 games into his NHL career. Like, take a step back. We don't need to go nuts about this, but at the same time, like,
dude,
play.
All I was worried about at 19 is like, where are we grabbing a beer tonight?
Exactly. Yeah, at 19, I was on my second sophomore year. Like, it's what it is. He's already way ahead of that.
We all silly like the mayor.